Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Today's episode of the Mike O'Mara Show is brought to you by our bonus packages. Please go to MikeO'MaraShow.com and click on the bonus banner. You'll get access to all of our bonus content, and even better, you'll be helping out TMOS. So please quit sucking, and we thank you.
Available on demand every day in iTunes and the Google Play Store, and around the world on MikeO'MaraShow.com. What more can we do for you? It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
If you were privy to the bonus show last week, you may have witnessed me try to explain a story and a process when I named my dog, but because of Carla and Carrie, who were truly on a conversation jag, it was impossible really for me to get that story told, and the gist of it wasn't all that big a deal. It was just that I wanted to tell you the process because I like naming things, you know. Yeah. That's what I enjoy doing. So that's what I do. I name things. So the process was Winslow Homer is a Boston Terrier. So what I did was I couldn't think of a name off the top of my head, like with Beluga. When we'd gone and eaten our first Beluga caviar because we hit a jackpot at a casino and they gave us a free meal at an expensive restaurant, and we could order anything we want. I remember the guy saying that. Get whatever you want. Enjoy yourself. And so we
whiskey.
All you want. All you want.
And naming something, there is a gravitas to it.
Yes. And a responsibility as well.
Well, I love naming. I like naming. You know, I mean, I think it's
Nameberry.
You know, we Nameberry. we have probably all named people. The Big O and Duke Show, which is one of our groups of people that we share audience with.
Allies.
The naming on that show, some of the best names ever. Ponyboy comes from that show.
Yes.
But the greatest name ever, they had an intern that was about 5,000 pounds, and they called him Landfill.
Yeah.
And
So
I thought
great.
it was the greatest nickname. You had two landfills?
There's Landfill 1, Landfill 2, both alive.
I didn't
To
know
a
you
point,
had Landfill
you know what?
1 and 2. That's
To
funny.
a point to what a great nickname that is. At the intersection of 15 and 7 here in Loudoun County, there is a sign for the Loudoun County landfill, and every time I see it, I think of that young man.
Yeah.
And it's
Landfill.
probably been 15 years, yeah.
Still alive.
And over the years, there have been
alive.
great nicknames through radio. We do that, but it's what I do. So when I couldn't come up with one off the top of my head, I said, okay, let me do a deep dive. And I went and did some research. And so I dove into famous Bostonians. First thing, blah, 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 on Google. Bing, bing, bing. I'm going through it. Boring, boring, boring. Revolutionary War, Revolutionary War, Revolutionary War. Just on and on and on. And then I see Winslow. And I love a nerdy kind of olden-timey name for a dog. I said, Winslow. And then I said, well, let me see Winslow. And it was like Winslow Homer. Well, Winslow Homer was a painter and is written about, at least online, as arguably one of the 19th century's best American painters.
Right.
And I went and I looked at his stuff and I said, oh, it's the sea. And it's olden-timey, and maybe there's some Wild West out there, and he's a very, very skilled artist, great painter. And I said, okay, well, you know what? I'll buy a print. I'll buy a Winslow Homer print. Maybe we can hang it up in honor of our new dog, Winslow. So yesterday, and I should mention that when you spend the whopping amount of $25,
Oh, so this is not an original Winslow Homer. This is some sort of reproduction.
No, the originals are in the millions of dollars.
This is I believe, a reproduction of a reproduction.
Oh, okay.
A bad
or
copy?
I don't know what it is. This is I happen to have it with me
before
here.
you show it to us.
Yes.
There's something called a lithograph. And
Right.
I didn't know much about what lithographs were. I didn't understand them. I really had no concept of why they were so expensive. And if I'm not mistaken, I learned, I think, about a decade ago why. It's an actual print from the print, correct? Is that what a lithograph is?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'll have to check.
Because
Look up lithograph.
I'll give you the context. We were in Boston, and my brother was getting a lithograph, and it was really expensive. I remember.
Sounds like you have a lisp.
Yeah, it does.
Ethel Thayer.
And I said,
I'm interested in a lithograph.
why don't you just go to like a posters.com website and buy this for a fraction of the price? And he looked at me, as you should, as an older brother would, like I'm a rube. and that I don't understand what he's trying to purchase.
Oh, okay. I think I can get that. Maybe. I think you might be onto something here based on the fact that I shelled out for the greatest painter of 19th century America a whopping $22.50.
Oh, okay.
Okay, a lithograph,
$22.50
Mike. Lithograph is a misused word and is used to mean several things.
Okay.
An original
is
lithograph
used. Hold on. Is used to mean many things.
is used to mean many things. An
You said
original
used.
lithograph. Sorry, I rolled over onto the T. Is used to
It's not an
means
unimportant thing when you do that.
You were born here. I wasn't.
Start the sentence again, and I will show you why it was because it's.
I love this.
Used.
We're all learning today.
lithograph is a misused word and is used to mean several different things. An original lithograph is when the artist creates the work of art on a stone plate. And in fact, lithograph means literally stone print. So it's like almost like a printing press type deal.
Wow.
However, let's move on. What is the difference between a lithograph and a print? The print process is described in the very word lithography, which comes from the Greek words lithos, meaning stone, and graphein, meaning to write. Print, on the other hand, is a work of graphic art that has been produced by a process.
Can you just ever read anything and edit it on the fly? I do it all the time.
I can't do that, Mike. That's a gift that only certain broadcasters have.
That has been produced by a process that enables it to be multiplied. So a print is something that is reproduced from the original, whereas a lithograph is made, technically, if you're to the letter of the law, it's made to be printed several times.
This is great.
Well,
Perfect.
No, the print can be made several times.
Yeah, but if you
But the lithograph is made with the intent of making identical copies because it's being made from one stone print.
Oh, okay. All right.
and there's a quality to that print.
All right. All right. What was I talking about?
You said that you purchased an original to hang in your home.
No. I purchased a print of Winslow
Right.
Homer because our dog's going to be Winslow Homer O'Mara, and it arrived yesterday. I've purchased prints. I don't expect them to be great. But when this came,
Look at that.
Oh, that's like
when this
a bad
crayon-
watercolor. Jesus.
this is a
Don't get that wet.
The TV is not doing it justice.
Now, Mike, we can hear the flimsiness of the paper as you through the mic.
Oh,
it
really?
sounds like bad
Yeah.
printer paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It literally.
And it's very dark.
Yeah.
I really want to find out where this is one of his. By the way, this may be his most famous painting of fishermen hauling and herring, and I would like to know where this Winslow Homer print or this painting, the original, may be hanging. Because as Carla said, that's a terrible painting. I said it's not a terrible painting. It is a terrible print.
I would like
It is
also
a
to know what the
cheaped
original
out print.
I'd like to know the original size of the painting because if it was much larger, it might have a different.
Well, I
presentation.
believe that I could take a print off of the computer and probably generate one, even with low printer ink on my HP.
When you bought it, how did it look on the website where you selected it? Did it look much better than that?
Of course.
Well,
It's not a rube.
Frankie!
He knows about Winslow.
He does.
Jesus. Oh, he's gotten weird last 2 days. He probably does.
He knows. They know.
I don't know, but he's gotten...
Incoming.
Wow.
Carla? What's going on? Why is Frankie barking? Don't worry. Then I don't care if I'm doing a show. Hi, everybody.
Mike,
Hello.
don't worry.
I'm getting doors. There's no way
Good.
around it. I'm
Yep.
getting big, heavy doors that aren't meant
From
to
the
go into
70s.
the house that we bought. Thank you.
Well, back
just
to
add it
artwork,
to
Mike.
the list. What?
How does that print compare to the print you got of the lady being hugged by Jesus Christ?
The lady being hugged by Jesus Christ sucks too,
So you're 2 for 2.
and that's hanging. We hung that one.
Yeah.
That won't be hang up. That won't be hanging for very long either. What? Excuse me. Hi.
Hi, Carla.
Hi, Carla.
How are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Well, why?
Hope you're
Here's
doing well.
what's interesting. You can give me that dirty look, but you see, when that happens, I'm,
Well, she could do that on camera at least, so we could all
yeah, why
enjoy
don't
it.
you-
Yeah.
she doesn't want to come on camera
Okay.
right now.
All right.
Oh.
She's really in her jammies right now.
Okay.
You want to come on camera and see what people see in the morning? Come on. Let me see. You're beautiful. You're still
Yeah,
beautiful. But
let's see it.
you
Let's
look a
see that
little-
lithograph.
Yeah.
You- What? So what do you think of the print? Why don't you just here? Let me give you the microphone.
Yeah, you can be off
you come?
mic.
Yeah.
Mystery guest.
Here you go. Come on, Mike. Around the other side. So, Carla,
Like
I don't have enough money. Goodbye. Thank you. Goodbye.
Don't worry, Mike.
Ow.
Oh.
God.
You got a pinch?
Yes.
That's
Ow.
what my mom would do when I was a kid.
Carla, that really hurt.
Yeah.
Hi. What's going on?
She's just letting you know. She's letting you know.
So
she knows.
you've been collecting art.
Home in the house with everybody.
Winslow
What?
Homer.
Winslow Homer. So thank you. So the print sucks, but we may put it up in Michael's room.
Yes.
And I'd like to know where it's hanging, or where there are some original
what's the
Winslow. What museum I would go to
What
see
is the title
Winslow.
of the painting you have?
It might be O'Mara's living room.
Okay.
Might be the title.
Herring, maybe?
Mike, I'm wondering how you take the next step will really determine your true feelings about this print you bought. Will it get like a poster frame? Will it get any frame? Will it just get tacked up with push pins?
I don't know. No, I don't think this is a frameable print.
It's in
I
Maine.
just don't.
Is
The
it?
It's in Maine.
1885 Winslow
Is it in
Homer.
Belfast?
The Art Institute. Hold on. Let me give it to you right now.
Really? It's
This
in
is-
Maine?
This is great. As
Oh, it says here it's at Kathy's house.
Oh, I wish it was 10 minutes
This
later.
is
That would have got the kicker. All right.
okay, as
Kathy's house. It's at Kathy's house in her guest bathroom.
Mike, as of late,
It's in Kathy's house.
okay,
That
the
was
latest
funny.
date they give right now
Yes.
from 1996, when the last time. Well, how about this? In the National Gallery of Art.
That's not in Maine.
And exactly, and then it traveled to the Fine Arts Museum in Boston, Museum of Fine Arts,
That makes sense.
and then it traveled to New York City.
New York
oh,
City.
to the
New
Met.
York City always gets everything, especially the COVID.
Yeah, and as of right now, from this website, and again, this is subject to change. It's in a private collection, but it is displayed and travels when it does, depending on
Wow, so somebody owns it.
somebody owns it.
Well, I know someone
Wow.
whose dad owns several Norman Rockwell originals, big ones, like the ones that they used to make the magazine covers for the Saturday Evening Post.
They've got to be phenomenally valuable.
They are, and when they tour, the museum that handles the touring gives them beautiful reproductions in identical frames
Yep.
to be replaced in their home, so they almost don't miss them.
The Winslow Homer I saw in a private home, which I didn't know much about the artist beforehand.
Right.
I just
You
realized.
mean you saw it online? You saw it in a
no,
private
no,
home?
I was in a home, a private
You went
home.
into a home that had an original Winslow Homer?
Hand to God within the last 6 months. Yes.
Really?
Before COVID-19.
Before I even started, so you never really thought about it until I started talking about it?
No, I thought about it internally, but I don't,
But you didn't bring it to the show, so
I
you,
don't, I don't like bringing private. I can talk about it now because it's natural and organic, right?
Sure.
But I'm not going to run and be like, I saw Winslow Homer in someone's house.
I had no idea Chad had that kind of taste.
No, this is generation
Mike,
wealth.
Mike, it's a wonderful painting that Winslow Homer did of a fisherman shooting a herring.
And if
Shooting a herring. Michael Corleone has a Winslow Homer.
Mike, and when I tell you that when you see it displayed, and I think if you own a piece like this, I don't know anyone. This is the first person I've ever met in my life.
There are
that-
millions and millions and millions
Yeah.
of dollars. in it.
you highlight that when you're giving a tour of the house. You're like, oh, and this is our Winslow Homer, and I'm nodding like a rube, like, oh yeah,
Sure.
I was like, oh,
okay, yeah, but I get it.
you
That's
know?
a 19. He's famous.
Yeah,
That's fine.
and I
Right.
was like, oh, he goes, yeah, this is and that's when I sat there and I was like, oh, and then you start, and this is I think anyone would, maybe you, Mike, because you have the self confidence of a raging bull,
Right.
Rob, you have kind of this Larry David type of like, I'll do what I want when I want. I am self conscious to a level where as soon as I see that, I'm like, oh, I knew you had generational wealth, but then when you see someone hanging something like that up on a wall,
Right.
you're like, oh, I better not scuff anything. Do I have the right shoes? Like you start
Were
thinking,
these fabulously wealthy people
Yes.
that were you
Yes.
in this home?
yes.
Now, I must ask,
Really?
because Mike's print is about 18 by 24 inches. It appeared to be like, reasonable size.
Charlie Birdie.
A little smaller than
Not
a
Charlie
poster.
Bernie.
All right, just checking.
How big was the original Homer? How big was it when you saw it? The size of the actual
I
painting.
would say the size of the print that he has. It's a smaller.
So he
Yeah,
worked
that's-
in
I
a, he
think
worked
that's
in a
the
small
smaller guy.
medium.
That's
Wow.
smaller
Okay.
guy.
I think that's well, no, it wouldn't be. Would it be a small medium? Would it say the medium is like the watercolor or acrylic?
You're
or
right. I'm
that,
sorry. A
right?
small format, I guess. Yeah.
Small. He worked on a small scale.
Yeah. I expect it to
small
be bigger
format.
somehow. Yeah.
Right. Now, I'm hesitant to talk about this, but I have a collection that nobody even knows about of
really?
original paintings. Yeah. It's celebrities painting clowns.
Really?
I have a Larry Miller. I have a Tony Bennett. I have a Rodney Dangerfield. And if you go downstairs, you get to see my my John Wayne Gacy.
That's
It's really that's
one of
really
the
down
jewels
the
in your
basement there.
crown.
It's a
Yeah.
priceless
Yeah, but it's
collection.
behind a couple of doors.
Does
If
it
you
travel?
see that, you're never seeing anything else again. That's the way that goes.
Does it
That's
travel?
the way.
Does it ever exhibit?
No, I don't send them out there. But don't we always have celebrities that paint clowns? Isn't there always?
Oh,
like
you
a
know
pa-
what? It came back
right?
is that Red Skelton painted and sold clown paintings.
Yeah, of course he did. Because why like work on being a performer when you can
And-
just go
and Jerry,
good
I don't know-
night and God bless, and now I'm going to be a
Dude.
painter too. You know, It's
Jerry
just not
collected
fun.
paintings of clowns, but I don't think he ever painted. I think Jerry
Jerry
Lewis.
Seinfeld or Jerry
No,
Lewis.
Jerry Lewis. I don't think Jerry Lewis. That's one of the few things he did not master: the art of painting. You
Yeah.
do everything else, though.
Do you boys in your travels know any painters? Know of any famous painters?
We have one in our neighborhood. One of Julia's friends in elementary school. His mom is a painter. We actually have two of her pieces upstairs.
Really?
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Do you know
man.
a lady named Frida Kahlo?
Yeah.
Yeah, famous. They made
Yeah,
a movie
yeah,
with
yeah,
Salma Hayek
yeah,
about
yeah,
the incredible. Do you know of a Frida Kahlo? Or does your father know Frida Kahlo? Or
No,
you know?
when my father abducted me and took me to Mexico for that one summer,
Yeah.
he was on a Frida Kahlo kick, and we would go to the museum every weekend and like for hours just stare at these paintings. Which, as a younger man, when I'm 21, I wanted to stare at women and not her paintings. And I remember looking back, I really do appreciate that time. But during that time, I would just be like, man, there's no hot girls at museums. This is a bummer.
Not
real
until
bummer.
later in life, and then you might, if you're looking for you've never been looking for, during your formative years,
Yeah,
your young years.
I wasn't looking for
You were never
substance.
looking for the right kind of girl.
No, I wasn't.
If you were
Right,
looking
I
for the
wasn't.
right kind of girl,
Yeah.
the museum might have been a place to go.
Yes.
But the only gallery you saw was on a pole for a long period of time. So
He also enjoyed the
That's the way
magazine
that
gallery.
yeah, the magazine
But-
gallery. That's like one of the old adult magazines, or
Exactly.
or Swank
Oh, that is
Swank.
the worst.
That is bad.
magazines.
Mike,
Oh,
My
man.
best museum story is I was probably first or second grade, and we were on a field trip to the National Gallery of Art because I grew up in D.C., so we did a lot of Smithsonian type field trips. And I remember this. We were looking at a Jackson Pollock original in the museum, and this is a long time ago, 40 years ago. And they were asking us little kids to see. It was very, abstract. Do you see anything in it?
dots.
And I saw something, and I walked up, and I pointed and touched the Jackson Pollock.
Oh my God.
And
You
they said,
touched it? Like how?
Yeah.
How were you able to touch it?
because it was just hanging there, and you're expected not to touch.
Also,
paintings.
even in school, you had a pretty good reach.
yeah,
Like you would have been a good ball player, a good basketball player.
Also, this is pre. If we're being fair to Rob, and not that you're old, but there was a different before 9/11.
there was very little
yeah,
security. It
there-
was just a painting on a wall.
And the red ropes now or people throwing on acid on these priceless pieces of art that didn't exist really. So you
So
could
I-
just walk around.
I remember the lady, the tour guide, said, no, don't touch that. But it was I learned that you don't touch.
I'm going through the list of celebrity artists. You might not know Sylvester Stallone. Speaking of Jackson Pollock, they kind of look like Jackson Pollock. He's been in the film world for decades. He's been a painter for almost as long. Lucy Liu, she's Kill Bill. Remember
Yeah,
in that
yeah, of
movie?
course.
She's painted for years. I'm looking at some works by Dennis Hopper that are really like above average.
Really?
David Bowie. He's got an eye too. They're not crap. I'm looking at they're
A
pretty
lot
good.
of musicians, they definitely have that artistic side to them.
Yeah, I
not just
think
for the
there's
music, but
overlap.
it'll go straight to art. When we were in Hawaii, Mike, most of the I guess art museums had different musicians' artwork, like from even Aerosmith, where you're like,
Yeah,
wow.
I think Ron Wood paints, I believe. Ron
Joni
Wood from the
Mitchell
Rolling Stones. Mhm.
has a self-portrait in here. Looks exactly like it. It's amazing. Jim Carrey, we know about him with his political angle on things. Johnny Cash was a painter. Bob Dylan, Stevie Nicks, James Franco. James Franco, I'm not sure I'm a fan. Rosie O'Donnell is a painter. Anthony Hopkins. Look at this list. Janis Joplin.
Yep.
Frank Sinatra.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'd buy a Frank. I'd buy a Frank if I was wealthy.
I think that Frank Sinatra, his
Marilyn
deal
Monroe?
was in the 60s, he would sign his paintings Artanas, which is Sinatra
wow.
spelled backwards.
Ronnie Wood, as Rob mentioned, Ron Wood is a painter. Yoko Ono, but she just painted on other people's paintings. No, that's a terrible joke. Prince Charles. Wow, there are some, and they're all good. They're all pretty talented.
Don't you feel like some of these people are having other people paint and then just writing?
They're
their
signing them?
signature
Some
at
of
the
them,
bottom?
yeah, I will tell you, Ron Wood is a talented artist. I mean, really does a fine job. And, the Michael Jackson has a picture of Charlie Chaplin here that he did that pretty damn good.
My dad
decent stuff.
has one of Tony Bennett's books of his paintings that he actually went to a signing and got Tony Bennett to sign. But yeah, Tony Bennett is well regarded as well.
I did not know that.
And Tony Bennett, didn't he paint clowns?
I believe he did. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Some, but
I'm
also
looking
other things too. He painted the hug and the peace sign. He paints everything, Tony Bennett.
I'm Tony Bennett.
Have you
yes,
ever?
sirree.
Were you ever an artist, Mike? Maybe
No,
when you were
I don't have
younger?
the talent my father had. My father's an artist. I got paintings from my father in
he
my
has that
sister's
great-
house
that
and in my
great
house up
picture
in Maine.
that he drew of you. I love that picture.
There's a picture that he did when he was 18 that's phenomenal. That's hanging up at my house up in Maine, a state that I used to visit, and maybe I never will again. That's, who knows? Looks like we'll never be traveling again. We're just going to be in the house alone with a barking dog.
Mike, it says
That's
here that as long as we're talking celebrity artists, Gary Busey loves to go to this local carnival and do spin art.
Oh, there you go. That's exciting. That's very, very exciting. Based on the way my morning's gone today, though, I will be starting my painting career, and I will be doing a recreation of The Scream. That's what I will be doing. The Scream! Start the show, damn it! Come on,
It's
Rob.
the Mike O'Mara Show. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at www.mikeomarashow.com.
Stay tuned for an outstanding entertainment program.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show.
Let's get down to business.
From the entertainment capital of the world.
This is Wade Byard, the Public Information Officer for Loudoun County Public Schools.
You do that edit,
The
Rob?
Mike O'Mara Show has decided to start now. Please make all necessary arrangements to listen. This is the Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara, Rob Spiewak, and Oscar Santana. And now, without further delay, here's Mike O'Mara.
That is funny. That's from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And that is the scariest kids villain that you will ever see in a
absolutely.
movie. I don't know
And,
who the actor was. It was terrifying to watch.
What is
the
it?
child
The
catcher.
things that bring us the greatest joy, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
The scene from Rosemary's Baby, and
That's right.
and now add that to the list. But you know what makes that makes that work is that edit at the very end.
He took the children.
We are live from the Podcast Village studios in our nation's capital. That's a much longer scene that Rob chopped down to a perfect amount of time, where he lures them out of the basement in the toy maker's house, and they end up going into the back of his little child catcher trailer, and they're off to the castle where they're going to be like stuck in a dungeon. Anyway, from
spoiler
Alameda,
alert.
California to yeah, right, deep stuff. Kalamazoo, Michigan, Nebraska City, Nebraska, Schulenburg, Texas, Yellow Springs, Ohio, Copenhagen, Denmark. The Mike O'Mara Show is on now, and brought to you something, speaking of children, that my child loves, and I love it with him. It's KiwiCo. A lot of us are cooped up, stuck inside. Most of us should be. If you think it's impossible to get a kid to put down the cell phone or video game and do something that's good for the brain, I'm a example of this. My son loves his screen time, like so many little kids that are doing whatever they can when they're quarantined. It's very frustrating, but he loves KiwiCo. When the package arrived, we had so much fun with it. It's a science and art subscription box for kids, and it's tested by kids. They guarantee you this is going to work for them. You're going to love it. More fun than any game they can play, and I was truly surprised by how much we both enjoyed it. Michael loves getting things in the mail. Excuse me. Hey, how about have another Diet Coke, Mike?
Yum.
Yeah, there we go. He loves doing it by himself mostly, but I loved helping him with the kaleidoscope. It's great to spend quality time tackling projects together. Each box has all the supplies needed for that month's project. All you need is an appetite for fun. KiwiCo is redefining play with hands-on projects that build confidence, creativity, and critical thinking skills. There's something for every kid or kid at heart at KiwiCo. Get your first month free on select crates at kiwico.com/TMOS. That's KIWICO.com/TMOS. And welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. When Oscar says he's got a crime alert when he walks in here, that moves to the top of the list.
Crime report.
And, we have a crime report. Hi, Oscar. Anyway, there is a little tribute to Fez Watley. There we go.
He's on point.
So
Good old-
great.
Hi. No longer in the game. All right, very good. So you came in and said, I have a crime
I have a crime
alert.
I have a
we're
crime
in the
report,
city.
yes,
We're in the middle of the city. So stuff happens. We've had stories about things happening in and around Podcast Village. It happens.
Well,
it's a big city.
Yeah, it's Washington, D.C.
Right.
Yeah.
But this takes a swerve because I would say around – I actually – and I don't know how much time we have here. Maybe, Rob, you can give me some context because I should know better as I watch the clock as well. I confronted the individual that ended up committing the crime.
Wow.
Yes. And I'm look, I don't.
What crime was it?
It's B&E. B&E.
A burglary?
B&E, Mike.
Breaking and entering.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, was I successful? No, I wasn't.
Turn that up a little bit, Rob Spiewak.
I was not successful at all. This is what happened. Yesterday around 3:58 p.m. I know this
Right.
because I had a 4 p.m. Zoom with a client. And I said, okay, I'm looking out the window. I'm depressed about my life. I'm looking.
Sure.
I'm looking out. Sometimes you look out a window. You're like, I hope there's other people out there grinding away as I have to. Right? If they have
Right.
to, essential only. And I see a gentleman walking up the CVS ramp to a vehicle that I'm aware of. Like it's a friend of ours. It's a colleague of ours, and not a Podcast Village proper, but within the building.
Right.
And I see him go to the right side of the car, which is the passenger side of the car on the ramp from my vantage point on the 4th floor of this building. And I see him look inside the window like anybody would if they're looking for something.
Oh, do the thing where you cup your hands on either side of your eyes.
The person you're observing is somebody you know.
No, they walk. The person.
Oh, this is not the person you know.
A third party
but
going.
he knows
to
the car, though.
But you know the
I
car
know the
belongs
car.
to somebody
else. Yes.
So can I ask you this? Did the person look hinky when they were when you were looking out the window?
No, the perp, Mike, as I like to call him in the business.
The perp.
Sure.
He looked like he was just walking up the ramp. I wasn't looking for trouble. I was just looking out, a looky-loo, neighborhood watch, just checking things out. And I said, I haven't seen, and I look at the gentleman, I was like, that's not so-and-so, but it could be a friend or a colleague, or maybe he's a new employee. Who knows? Maybe he's stimulating the economy. What's happening? Who knows?
Right on.
Except for the fact that when he went to the car, he looked inside the tinted windows, and he looked around, and then pulled on the back
door,
the passenger side door to try to get in. And at that point, I'm on the phone prior to this call. Of all people, I'm sure Rob Ford has no idea what went on. I'm barking at Rob Ford about some edit orders, and I opened.
Is he ignoring you like he normally does?
He wasn't ignoring me. He was actually listening.
All right,
New
very
phone,
good.
do this.
I said, "Hold on." Opened up the window, and I yelled, "Hey, that's not your car!" from the 4th floor.
Okay.
All the way across the street. That's a good yell.
Crime Stoppers, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
The guy looks back up at me, hands up in the air, has a mask on because everybody's wearing masks. So can't really tell
How
who it is.
convenient.
And a hoodie. Had the hoodie up top, so all you see is
So
eyeline.
that's pretty observant on your part that you're looking at the car. You see that guy doesn't belong to the car because you know the guy the car belongs to.
While I'm working with Rob Ford, and I was like, hold on a sec. And then come back and I'm like, oh, someone was just trying to break in so-and-so's car. So I get back on with Rob Ford. I see the guy walking down the ramp with his hands up, like, you got me.
Wow.
And I said, do I need to call the cops? And he shook his head and walked away.
Wow,
Which is the answer
that's
you would
great.
expect,
Like that guy will stay away forever from that parking
lot. I
lot.
felt like a man's man. And I think
And you did it
job.
without any danger to yourself because you're distance shaming.
My wife
Social distance crime fighting.
My wife ran up to the window, and I think this is the first time she's been attracted to me in roughly 3 years. So since we've been married. So we jump on, and I call the person on whatever floor it's on here. I said, hey, somebody was just scoping your car. He goes, do you think I should go out there? I said, I don't know. I'm just giving you a heads up. I got to jump on a call, but I'll keep an eye out.
The person who will go nameless. Nice car.
Yes. Nice car. But not
really
not ostentatious. Like, nothing crazy. Like,
I was kind of hoping it would.
No,
foreign or domestic?
Me too. Because sometimes if you see like I would say a Bentley SUV, you're like, you're asking for it.
Yeah,
sure.
A couple of payments for that car.
So
anyway,
so get off the call, and then go back out there, and literally on another call, I would say 35 minutes later, 35 minutes later, I look out and I'm like, is that broken glass?
Oh, no.
No, that can't be broken glass. Because you can't tell broken glass in a smashed out tinted window on like kind of a hazy day.
Right.
like the guy had gone back.
That's how intimidating I am, Mike, from the 4th floor.
Oh,
The gentleman
my God.
went back and stole a friend's laptop outside of his car. My barking orders and him going down the ramp as the man I was, because I was like, man, this must be the haircut. Must be like an MS-13 look.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Ballsy.
That's
Came
ballsy.
back?
Gutsy.
Came back
Like within the hour?
within 35 minutes, because that's how long that call took.
And you're almost 1,000% sure that hadn't been broken before.
It
He was looking in the window.
It was not. It was not.
It was
no.
a passenger side window that was shattered.
The other side was shattered. Because
the driver's side.
Because the driver's side was shattered because the passenger side, where he tried to open the door, was too tight. Like, it wasn't even the door was locked.
But you know what else? If he did it on the other side, he was probably not within your scope of vision.
No, he was. It's directly in front of our building.
Oh,
That is,
man.
I can't believe that's stunning.
Flabbergasted. So
That is stunning. So had you called the owner of the car the first time you
at 3:58.
and then did he go out to his car again to check it out?
I remember as soon as we found out there was an issue, he goes, really? You think so? Because he's also trying to conduct business. He's on a different floor. And I see him run out from my vantage point, and he looks and he sees, and he's done what we've all done. I've had my car broken into in the city. You look around and you're like, you're pissed. You're pissed, right?
So pissed.
And I ran down just to like talk to him, put my mask and my gloves, and I said, hey man, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know you had a laptop back there. I would have said, go to get your gear out of there. But it looked like the guy just walked away. Like, he was busted. And this is what I highlighted to him. I said,
did it look like he was touching the car at some point without gloves, maybe, so you could get a printer?
No, the guy had gloves and a mask on. The perp.
Oh my God!
Now
Yeah,
you can
perfect,
you can get suited up for a perfect crime and just look like you're being thoughtful.
Yeah, absolutely. You're considering your fellow citizens.
So
Wow.
Exactly.
At this point, two things kicked in. One is my wife is certainly not attracted to me anymore because my marking of orders from the 4th floor did nothing.
You should have capitalized on that in the 32 minutes that you were looking like a man.
Let's go to the 2nd floor. Nobody's down there. No,
Yeah.
no. I saw a glimmer of like, this is the man I married.
Sure.
And then when she found out it was broken into, this is the man I married. Like, this.
I'm
is
just
what I
so amazed at the brass of that crime that somebody would come back. I mean, that's
crazy.
As I
that's
told,
just that laptop had strong attraction to this particular.
And I said, okay. I was slightly embarrassed that I didn't think two reasons. Selfishly, because my bark is not bigger than my bite, because I have no bite and no bark, especially from the 4th floor.
But I mean, you did at least you did something, right? I mean,
tried,
at least
yeah.
you did. That is just so
And if
weird.
the story ends with the guy with his hands up leaving the parking ramp, you have no reason to think that what you did wasn't a home run.
Alpha male.
Right.
Alpha
exactly.
male.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's exactly the outcome you wanted.
Yes.
Tough
And then
guy.
within 32 minutes, I'm a beta male.
Is there the slightest chance, in your opinion, that particular? First of all, are we talking about the ramp near the drugstore?
Yes.
Here is that. So that's where you saw it. So a lot of traffic there. I just don't get. I just don't get how they. It couldn't have been another person that just happened to see that. If it's a laptop, it's the same guy.
Gotta be.
Wow.
What I would say is this, and as I told our friend, I said, "Hey, man, if that guy, after getting busted, was so ballsy enough to come back within a 35 or 32-minute window to get it again, and willing to break out your window with whatever he broke it out with to get a laptop, he was willing to do anything for that. So the idea that you just lost, passengers, driver's side window and a laptop. I mean, who knows what that guy was capable of?
Interesting times. It's very, very difficult with that, and
I'm not a crime stopper. I try.
Speaking of your radio partner, does he have any high-powered weapons that he can shoot from a distance? I'm not talking about killing the guy. I'm talking about winging him or something. Like that,
Sure.
But I guess what it spoke to, look, crime happens in the city all the time. It just does. And I, as a younger man, I had my SUV broken into. No problem. The backpack that was stolen, the thief was probably just disappointed and disgusted because all it had was free T-shirts from the radio station and free CDs from the radio station. Nothing crazy. Nothing that was
but that thief looked great for a long time.
And could really dance.
So
fantastic.
But I guess overall, I never thought, even living in the city, it struck me that I was like, broad daylight, 4 p.m., in front of a building and shoppers, that's what's happening.
How have you been received by the victim of the crime after this? Did you speak to the victim after this was all discovered?
Yeah.
And did he kind of indicate, that he felt like you could have done
Crime
more?
stoppers? I felt guilty. I said, hey, man.
I did too.
My bad.
I feel guilty for you. There is no reasonable, rational way why you or I should feel guilty about this, but somehow I
felt like
really feel like
because he did ask, should I go out there? I said, no. The guy's like, he walked away towards the neighborhood, and I said I should have probably said go out there if you have any valuables back there. But again,
well, I mean, you can't live his life for him. And what you did is
I think it's time for a sting. I think they could do a sting. I think they should do a sting.
I had thought about this. I thought about taking one of our cams, because it's light here, because nobody's, we're in COVID-19 times, and just throwing it out there and putting it onto a stream.
But you know why it's irrelevant? Because of the mask.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you're going to identify the guy right now.
I was asked a descriptor. I said, mask, gloves, hoodie.
Right. You'd have to.
Who could it be?
I mean, really, it could be Pony.
Yeah. You know what? The gentleman was not built like Pony.
But that would mean Pony would have to have left his house.
Another question. Maybe you can answer this, Mike, and I think I might have the answer. Does anybody remember the alarm system Viper, where like they would sell you like aftermarket alarm systems?
I remember
for your
the
car?
name. Yeah,
It's called Viper.
Yeah.
So
but I did my own thing. I had snakes in my car when I used to work in a high traffic area.
On an old
Q107
constrictors.
Yeah. No, venomous.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
Yeah,
well, that's
I
more
had
effective.
asps.
Very dangerous indeed.
I had a series of different asps. They look innocent until they bite you, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
I had a dream about getting bitten by a snake last night.
Oh, my God.
Really?
I just realized that. Maybe last night, maybe the night after. I just remembered it. I had a dream about getting bitten by a venomous snake. Yellow and black. It was yellow with a big triangular head.
Diamondback.
It just came to me. Isn't that weird? That's just weird the way the brain works. But I interrupted you. Go ahead.
A sting is what I would like to do. The problem is, I think it's more of, I wasn't crazy. That did happen. Shannon did see the guy walk away. And then now you're like, I know it's free parking, but maybe we should park in the parking garage.
Might be a good idea. Where it's attended. Yeah. I mean, it's convenient. It's downhill. Yeah. But I still think you could do your own thing.
If we do the sting, could we get like Pony's car? Because Pony's got a nice car that's easy to spot, and fill it with like 30 laptops.
And murder hornets.
Yes.
And murder hornets.
He has them.
And he breaks the glass, and they all come out and sting him to death.
Now, what's worse for me is in the, I would say 5 years, maybe 6 years total, before pre-podcast village, that we've been in this building.
Right.
Is the worst thing that's happened is someone dropped the deuce chronicled on that ramp.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. We had open defecation on that same ramp.
Yes.
That drugstore is a Shell no pest strip for bad folk.
What,
Can you
Okay.
imagine that we had that happen at that exact location back then and we were not wearing gloves and masks? What does it take?
Yeah, really.
So what upset me more was the robbery, not the defecation.
Yeah.
I know.
I just-
Hey, the defecation, you got to go, you got to do, As a matter of fact, that was me. That was actually me
Oh, confession is good for the soul, Mike.
when I used to visit. No, it wasn't. Hope that guy's not mad at you for
he
not
wasn't.
following up a little more.
He was.
Did you have a mask when you yelled at him?
No, I was.
Oh, no,
I
we
looked
saw
like
your
this.
face.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, I have a particular item that I need, and nobody has it, and you hear about one item, but you don't hear about this other one, so we'll talk about it when we come back on the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Cornerstone. During this pandemic, Cornerstone First Financial has emerged as a leader and an educator among their competitors. Cornerstone First keeps up with all the latest trends and changes so they can make sure you get the best rate program for all of your mortgage needs. They even have a low rate guarantee. And because they are a lender and a broker, if they can't do it, no one can. This is the team you need during these most uncertain times. Call my friend Mark Livingstone at Cornerstone First Financial today. His number is 202-1221. I'm sorry, 202-625-1221. That's 202-625-1221 or online at cornerstonefirst.com. Remember, these changes in the mortgage industry are temporary, and when this crisis is over, it's the housing industry that's going to bring us out of this and restore our economy and our country. Call Cornerstone First Financial for all of your lending needs, whether it's a purchase or refinance, jumbo or conforming, forward or reverse, VA or FHA. Cornerstone First Financial does it all. 202-625-1221 or cornerstonefirst.com. See what they can do for you. Cornerstone First Financial, personal attention from application to closing, and we are thrilled to have this relationship with the people in our own building, and that they've done very well with advertising right here on the Mike O'Mara Show, which we don't run those radio ads where, you'd be surprised if you're out there listening to my voice, and you'd be surprised at how not only affordable it is to advertise in a medium like this, but we get results for people.
We do.
People you might not expect, we get results. They're not all national advertisers like Harry's and Sleep Number and Legacy Box and those big national companies. You can be a company that's not a national company like Cornerstone First Financial, and you get results.
Yeah,
and we've been
You do.
very, very happy with that. So, if you're ever interested in that, just contact us at MikeO'MaraShow.com, and you'd be very surprised what we can do for you. All right, this is an item. I'm probably, I know I'm not alone because you can't find them. Disinfectant wipes. You hear about toilet paper.
Right.
You never hear about disinfectant wipes. Now, there's plenty of disinfectant out there. There's hand sanitizer. There's disinfectant soap, antibacterial soap. There are not those little wipes that we all like to use to swab down. Oscar, have you had success acquiring disinfectant wipes?
We ran out roughly 2 months ago, and then we put an order in, and it took about a month to get as much as possible here.
Right.
This is, I was doing the deep dive and the search yesterday, and I've, we've been very fortunate as far as acquiring things like toilet paper when we need it. You're just hearing about so many shortages, but it just, I have no idea what they're going through, and I certainly am not an expert, but to the Lysol and Clorox companies, get your shit together, okay?
This could be the greatest time for you ever.
It's a supply chain issue, and I'll give you the perfect example. The
I
reason
thought that was food.
the reason why we purchased as much as we did,
that?
which is not a lot.
Anybody hear that?
Oh, I hear that now. Is that me? Let me mute myself. Is
mute
that
me.
all right?
Not me.
Not you? Oh,
Where's that
was
coming
weird.
from?
It sounds like interference from someone's phone. I'll move my phone out of the way. Is it gone?
My phone's over.
No? Now
Anybody
it's gone.
know?
Now it's gone. It could have been my
Not
phone.
coming from you guys.
Could have
It's not
been-
coming from.
could have been my phone.
Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah, we heard
Absolutely.
it.
But I mean, I muted you and I didn't hear it. So,
It sounded like a
Talk-
radio
talk to
signal.
me, boys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It sounded like a radio signal, Mike, like an interference.
Sometimes if you're charging a unit like an iPad or a laptop, you will pick up some interference from the AC. So is anybody charging anything right now as opposed to?
I think
I'm charging everything right now, but I mean that's what
but
I
it
do.
should,
when
but it should be something out of the ordinary.
You're clear and clean right now, Mike.
Yeah, everything's good.
Really?
Yeah, we're back.
I'm sorry
back to
about
normal.
that. It just I heard. It sounded like
It's back. It's back.
This is London. What?
We hear it again. Let me mute you. Keep talking. Just keep talking, Mike.
Wonder la 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 la.
Okay, it's on your side because we can hear
Something's wrong today.
we can hear it coming through.
All right, we're going to take a short break, of course, because I want to be on time today. So let's take a short break, and we will come back with more fun and more thrills on the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. I think it's gone.
It's gone.
Hi, everybody.
Gone.
It's gone.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I figured it out. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Best Fiends. If you're looking for a fun way to pass the time while engaging your brain with great visuals and a gripping story, your answer is Best Fiends. Best Fiends is a casual game that anyone can play, but it's made for adults. You can spend as much or as little time as you'd like in the game. Perfect for a little break at a time. Yes, Rob?
I'm on level 51. I finally beat the boss slug.
Yes.
Well done. Well done. Best Fiends is a unique and exciting puzzle experience. Unlike any other puzzle game out there, Best Fiends updates. Best Fiends
Yes.
updates the game monthly with new levels and events, so it never gets old. Once you start, you can't stop. Fresh, fun, cute. I'm cute. I'm cute.
Yeah, this morning I checked it out. They've got Mother's Day graphics up. They're up to date. It's so cool. It's great.
I love it. Best Fiends, great anytime. Doesn't require internet to play, so you don't need to worry about Wi-Fi access for using cell data. No bandwidth, no problem. Spend some time with your Best Fiends. Engage your brain with fun puzzles and collect tons of cute characters. Trust me, with over 100 million downloads, this 5-star rated mobile puzzle game is a must-play. Download Best Fiends free on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's Friends without the R. Best Fiends, everybody. Note to the junior broadcasters out there: when you acquire a charger for a laptop computer, and you're running it through an audio chain, maybe you might want to get the best quality one, and not the one that's going to go as soon as you plug it in. There you go. I got my Apple proprietary charger is still plugged into my main computer. The one from Wuhan that I purchased, unfortunately, is now disconnected because it was causing a little bit of a problema, and that's it. Yeah. So anyway, welcome back to the show. I was talking about disinfectant wipes.
Yeah.
Yes.
None to be found. Online, Amazon, no. Target, no. Walmart, no. The Mike O'Mara Shopping Center, no. We didn't find any, no. Then I find the home improvement stores. I type in, where can you get disinfectant wipes? He said, Home Depot. I go on Home Depot. Not available online, in-store only. Not available at your store. So I'm like, okay, they don't have them either. Then I see Lowe's, in-store only, with no guidance from Lowe's that says they're not there. And I go there, and of course, the shelf is bare. So they're all gone. Didn't know whether anybody had any tips or info.
I can go
we
to
kind of
Ace
rely
today
on them here.
and see.
What's that?
I can go to Ace today after the show.
Yeah. Do you have any like family-owned or smaller hardware
we got
stores?
an Ace. Let me go to an Ace.
Because hardware stores, sometimes they operate a little under the radar because they're not people's first go-tos anymore. And sometimes you'll find stuff there. You really can be surprised.
It's either that or I'm thinking senior citizen hour at the local Costco. First thing in the morning, which I cannot even describe to you how little I want to do that. How I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be first in line at the Costco for the senior citizen hour because I know the type of human beings that are going to be there, and I don't want to be part of it.
It's your privilege for surviving this long.
Exactly. And Mike, it's a great opportunity not just to get disinfectant wipes. You might make friends.
What was that?
It's not just your opportunity to buy wipes. You might also make friends. These are people. These are your peers.
I find it difficult to make friends when people are wearing masks.
From 6 feet away. Hi, neighbor.
New protocol at, I think this is as of effective immediately. Most of these stores are now like, they have it laid out on the website. This is how it looks like. This is what we're going to do.
Exactly.
Well, for the lady at the Lowe's, though, where all I was able to acquire was some wipe downs for my car because I'm saying goodbye to Rocket today. Rocket is leaving today. The guy's
Not
coming
the
down
red
today
rocket. the white
and
Rocky.
taking it away. Mrs. O'Mara is very, very happy that. By the way, if you're wondering what my monthly car payment was, that I made a bad decision when I bought that car. My monthly car payment was $8,437.
Wow.
So she's very happy to be getting rid of that particular car payment. But for the lady at Lowe's, who I was buying the wipes, the vinyl wipes to wipe down the dashboard. When you're wearing the mask, and I'm on the other side of plexiglass, and you have your mask just squarely over your mouth with your big beak hanging out, and I'm staring at your oh-so-ugly nostrils.
Oh, like
you're supposed
this?
to put that mask. Yeah, I see more people that do that.
Over the nose and the
more
face.
people that do that. And by the way, the Griblies come into the nose and out of the nose as well.
Yes.
So be aware of that. But yeah, today the guy makes his way down here to Cocoonville.
Have you spoken to him, or have you just
I spoke to him,
emails?
I believe, only one time, and then the car gurus people have taken on Oscar.
We
Might be
gotta
worthy
plug.
of a phone call.
We
I
gotta
actually
plug.
have completed a transaction with them, and no fuss, no muss. I've never done it like you. And listen, all that stuff you used to go through when you
Yes.
would sell your own stuff, really kind of all at least the financial stuff, done.
It's
the
turnkey.
money is where it's supposed to be.
Wow.
And I have not had to, sit there with a paper bag and have him put his cash in a paper bag. This has all been handled by the people. And if you're selling a car, you might know this better than I am, because they were kind of hinky about letting me know what the final numbers were.
Yeah, you got to say, hey, what's the haircut?
The haircut, I think, comes on the other end. I think the
so
buyer. I think the buyer
built
gets
into
the
the
haircut.
price.
I've never
But I
heard
could
the
be
phrase
wrong.
"the haircut." That is so
The
great.
haircut is like what they chop off the
Yeah.
final price. I'm getting what I wanted out of the deal.
You're still
so
upside down. So no, let's be honest.
I am getting the money from
Fair
that,
market
that
better
guy.
than a dealer. Better than a
It's,
dealer.
Oh, absolutely.
It's significantly better than it is. As a matter of fact, I want to drive down to the dealer and go.
Yeah.
When a dealer, so I'm here to tell you, I'm living proof to tell you that when a dealer tells you, "Oh, you don't want to go through that hassle," no, it's really not a hassle. You've
sold
bought
every
sold cars.
Every one of my cars, except for one, have
Online.
come from an online eBay, Craigslist, or Auto Trader. I'll have to try Car Gurus.
Oh, don't give the competition a plug. I just did
you
that.
had such a great experience. I'm gonna have to try Car Gurus in the future.
And Mike, I have to
I
make a
had a
request.
good
Please
experience.
Okay.
Please use the Alan Goodman pronunciation of guru.
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 I had a good experience. I had a great experience, except for Leslie.
Ooh.
All right. Yeah. And as one of the other people at this center said, she's a little set in her ways. That's a
Gotcha.
nice way of
Gotcha.
saying, it's.
Is it
difficult.
Leslie
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, it's Leslie No. And,
Leslie No,
she
daughter
was,
of Dick
she was
No?
she was related to the lady at BB&T that said the manager that said no. He was a guy.
yes.
And by the way,
Yeah. But I just want to say, let me just shout out to Leslie. Leslie, I thoroughly enjoyed going into the UPS store to get my document notarized, standing in there for 35 minutes with the old ladies that only know how to mail packages by
Yes.
taking a big box into the store, and then getting to the counter and having the lady tell me that in Florida it doesn't need to be notarized. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you
Sick
for that.
burn.
That
Sick
was the only
burn.
part that was a little. But then fast track. It was like kaboom. It worked
The
very fast.
scariest-
There were some glitches,
The scariest transaction was in Arizona when I remember meeting someone at a strip mall and selling my Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Right.
And him.
What color was it?
Red, of course. And he said, "Do you just want me to go get cash or a personal check?" And I was like, I'm 26 then.
Was this a Craigslist purchase?
This was a Craigslist transaction, yes.
The scariest kind.
The scariest
Oh,
kind.
it's
scary
really
And I
bad.
said,
Absolutely.
yeah. And then what's running through my mind, I was like, okay, if I sell this and I get cash, do I get rolled after I get the cash? Like, what's going to happen? Like, and
Yeah.
you're going through this like 20 different iterations. Get a bad check. What am I going to? I'm not Crime Stopper. Clearly, not even today. So he says, look. He looks at me. He says, look, man, you got all your records. I'm not going to stiff you. This car's for my son. He's an idiot. And literally walked me into the bank and said, let's get the cash. We'll go our separate ways. I promise you. Like, this is going to be safe. Because he saw the fear in my eyes of how do I get through this?
So he was an older guy.
He was an
like,
older
had,
gentleman,
He had some
yes.
maturity.
It's for my
that's
idiot son.
probably that's probably the best possible outcome for you.
Yeah.
Because really, your head would go in 40
I was
different.
in a different state. I didn't know anybody, and I was selling a car in a
So he's
strip mall.
You're going to roll you, and you have to run into the massage place there, the nail parlor, and say, help, help.
But here, nowadays, you don't have to really go through
You don't have to
You
do
can
that.
do it
It's
all
all
through the people that do
touchless
it.
and bank transactions.
And so the guy's coming down, and he's even coming into the neighborhood here. I'm fine with that. The transaction, his money's not in his hands anymore, and it's in escrow. So
and he got a sweet deal.
He got a great deal.
Yeah.
He got a really good deal, but he was the only one that offered the deal that he offered. And I'm still getting offers on this car.
Too late.
And they're all trying to steal it. They're all trying to steal this car. And nobody was trying to steal it more than the dealer. That make no mistake. It is not like there are bad, dishonest dealers. That is their model. If you
that's how
trade
they
an
stay in
automobile
business.
for years,
Of course.
look, I'm not preaching the.
Now, this is a new experience for you.
It's a new experience for me. That's why I'm talking about it. I know there are people rolling their eyes. Hey, Mike, you never sold a car. No, I didn't. I didn't sell a car like this.
The dealer, I went that route with the Audi. I remember taking it to CarMax, and I laughed when they gave me, here's your estimate, what we can give you. And I said, are you kidding me? That's $10,000 less than what I could do privately. And they said, this is a special car. There's got to be a special, buyer for this. And I'm like.
And what they're telling you is like, oh, they're going to sell this on their lot for, $11,000 more the next day. That's when it's going to be out there.
It's almost like the automobile dealers are in it to make money.
They do. This is not, look, I know people, I know some of you are rolling your eyes out there. This is not new information. It's new for me. And I'm just saying, outside of being knocked unconscious later on this afternoon, so far it's gone very well. But even if he did, it wouldn't matter because the paperwork's already been done and the money. And I was given the okay by Leslie, who told me that, and by the way, she was really good to deal with. Craig was a little better when he, sent the right document.
Mike, in case, we're going to prepare the memorial show for tomorrow. In case.
Very good. Yeah, it's just like, this is really, really terrific. Can I get a better look inside the trunk? Would you mind opening the trunk? Yeah, let me get that to you right now. I'll do that. And this looks really good right now. And okay, all right, there you go. And maybe it doesn't work. Maybe this piece of crap computer doesn't work when I'm trying to play a goddamn sound effect. Jesus.
Hey, what's
Christ.
that in the trunk? Okay, look a little closer. Is that a red dot?
I got to look closer.
Is that a red dot? I don't see a red dot.
I see it in the back right there. Oh my head! Oh. And now it still doesn't work. Oh, this is you know what? You were really, really good at causing all sorts of weird noises during the show, but then when I want to play something, it doesn't work. I'm sorry. I'm very frustrated. We have to take a commercial break.
It's
I'll try to figure
understandable.
this
It's
absolute
okay.
garbage crap computer out, and we'll be right back on the Mike O'Mara Show. Happy car selling, everybody. Bye-bye. Better be a fast one. Better be a short one. Better be a long one. Thank you. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. This portion of our program brought to you by our bonus packages. Do you ever hear the story of the little kid that got everything he ever wanted? Well, he lived happily ever after. So when you wanted a weekly doppeldose of TMOS with a later start time, fueled by booze, co-hosted by our better halves, and a free stream of the bonus, how? So when you wanted a weekly doppeldose of TMOS with a later start time. Huh?
It was bonus show. I must have left off an S.
Oh, we made that happen just to make you happy. Yeah, all right. All right. Anyway, it's the bonus show, and I can't use my computer. Everything is beginning to fall apart.
Mike?
I mean, his copy, I'm used to that. It's twice, 3 times a week.
This is a
That's
tough time
average.
for everybody. Completely
but
understandable.
I am just trying to see if I can do my news stager.
News.
That's a little loud, eh? Anyway. America's infectious disease experts, ladies and gentlemen, are headed by one Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Yes.
He is a handsome man, so maybe it's not surprising that he was the inspiration for a character in a romance novel back in the early 90s. Most of us were introduced to Dr. Fauci when the coronavirus exploded a few months ago, but he's been the director of the National Institutes of Allergy and Infectious Disease since 1984. And in 1991, he was the inspiration for a sexy scientist character in a best-selling romance novel called Happy happy endings.
Now, do you think he was ever like
I don't
really
have time.
hot when he was
It's about
young?
a widowed first lady who falls in love with, Dr. Anthony Fauci, or a scientist modeled after him. I would just be kind of quiet and lay back right now for the rest of the show. That might be the best course of action. That's because I'm beginning to shake a little bit. The author, Sally Quinn, says she first met Dr. Fauci when she sat next to him at a function in Washington, D.C. She says, quote, "I just fell in love with him." She was married to Ben Bradley, if I'm not mistaken. Usually those dinners, you make polite conversation, and that's it. But we had this intense conversation, personal conversation. I thought, wow, this guy is amazing. So you got that, which is interesting. Yeah, a little louder for that. Very good, Mike. That's delightful. Thank you very much. It sounds like those rumors about Tom Cruise making a movie in space were true. Yesterday, a NASA administrator tweeted, quote, "NASA is excited to work with Tom Cruise on a film aboard the International Space Station." I saw the viral video of him with James Corden jumping out of an airplane, and it doesn't surprise me that Tom Cruise has that little daredevil in him, and I think he's perfect for that. So we'll see what happens with that. We need popular media to inspire a new generation of engineers and scientists to make NASA's ambitious plans a reality. If this happens, it'll be the first narrative, non-documentary film to be shot in space.
Wow.
Buy me my tickets already.
You know what the name of it's going to be?
What's that?
Very, 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 very risky business.
Very risky. He was when he does the thing where Corden jumps out of the airplane, he's really fearless. He's kind of laid back, cool, and he does a lot of his own stunts and all that stuff. A design company has released a template to make your own social distance picnic blanket. Basically, it's like a big ring of fabric with circles for individual people to sit on. While most airlines are automatically blocking off middle seats right now, Frontier Airlines, let's spotlight them, shall we?
Great people.
I wish I could say so.
Oh, no.
Frontier Airlines has decided to charge people an extra $39 if they want the middle seat next to them to be empty. Airlines never cease to amaze. I mean,
wow.
The greed level of these a-holes. Boy, I can't believe you. I am so frustrated with that. Moving right along.
The Contagion Airlines.
What's that?
Contagion Airlines.
Contagion Airlines, yeah. Yeah, we're going to keep you safe, but maybe you could give us a little money for it.
Right.
Wow. A government scientist in the UK has resigned after he broke the lockdown rules to visit a married woman who he's been having an affair with. That's God. Okay. People. All right, here we go. Here's another one. Six Flags is going to require that visitors make advance reservations to visit once they start reopening their amusement parks. It's to help them control the number of people inside the park. That's fine, but it's still Six Flags, and
Still
why
a
are
park,
they first?
right?
Yeah, it's just whatever. A woman in Pennsylvania was diagnosed with coronavirus, then went out to a party and ran errands the next few days. She was arrested and spent the night in jail. So there's that. They're figuring out in Pennsylvania. And a salon owner in Dallas was sentenced to 1 week in jail for refusing to close during the stay-at-home period. So they got in trouble. There are some people that are being policed out there.
Yeah.
A guy in Utah has blue Christmas lights on his house right now. He says they're to honor medical workers, but his HOA says they violate the no Christmas lights after March 1st rule. And they'll fine him $50 if he doesn't take the lights down. What I don't have the details of in this story is whether they've been up since Christmas, which would really back up the
they
HOA.
have been.
Yeah.
And also, why is March 1st okay? Like February 28th, it's okay to have Christmas lights up?
You betcha. Absolutely.
Wow.
And finally, Nino Vitale, a Republican member of the Ohio House of Representatives, says he won't wear a face mask because, quote, "We are all created in the image and likeness of God. That image is seen the most by our face." What Bible, what chapter in the Bible is that in? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm sure somebody
weird.
maybe in Congress would feel better about, hey, we're all doing it. Let's just make sure we're good.
I just walk up to that guy and say, I back you up 1,000%.
Oh, the spit.
And now a little something. As you saw from 90% of the posts on social media on Monday, it was Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
May 4th. Yes, May the 4th be with you a couple of days ago. Well, it sure backfired hard for a pop culture themed restaurant called Coco Vanilla Galactic Cantina in Alberta, Canada. I love Canadians. To celebrate Star Wars Day, one of their female employees dressed in a full stormtrooper outfit to wander around on the street to try to drum up business. Well, she was holding a toy stormtrooper blaster gun. I've seen those. My kids got them on Legos all over the place. And a few people saw that and called the cops. Apparently, they mistook it for a real gun, even though the woman was in full costume. The cops came. They pulled real guns on her, pushed her to the ground, handcuffed her, and put her in a police car. It took about an hour before everything was sorted out, and she was released without any charges. You see, in Canada, they think that guns are dangerous. Aren't they nuts? Even if they're made of plastic guns, they're worried about them. They get concerned. If an idiot here thought she had a weapon, she would probably be having lunch right now with Princess Leia. If you know what I mean. We'll take a break with this fantastic setup I got working for me today. Hello, old MacBook. We'll be right back with the Audio Vault and Rob Spiewak right here on the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by the TMOS Shopping Center. Here's a coronavirus update. Disney profits plunged 91% last quarter because COVID-19 forced their parks to close. Executives say to make up for the loss, they will need to sell 16 full-priced adult admissions, 3 Dole Whips, and a sweatshirt. The White House has announced that they will shut down their coronavirus task force by Memorial Day, which is nice. People will be able to safely wear white pants while using their ventilators in the ER after Memorial Day. And Billy Joel has agreed to appear at the All-Star Rise Up New York fundraiser. He has agreed to wear a mask over his nose and mouth to protect the audience, and a second mask over his eyes so this doesn't frighten children. I knew you were going to make a Billy Joel eye joke. Luckily, the TMOS Shopping Center takes the fear out of shopping. Get things from Target and Walmart safely from home. Hit up MikeO'MaraShow.com, and the banner's right there. Click it. The TMOS Shopping Center. It's right there.
Right.
It's not colorful, though. Love it to be a little more colorful. But
Little zing, little zang.
Yeah, just a little, be nice. Target and Walmart, trust me, if they don't have it, you don't need it. Just make sure that you, except for wipes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The TMO Shopping Center. Shop from home and help us out. Uptown girl. She's been living in an uptown world. Let's open up the Audio Vault for today. This is the 6th of May, 2020 on Wednesday. Take it away, Rob.
You know, for Star Wars Day, Billy Joel said, "Hey, look at me. I look just like Darth Vader with my mask off." So he's doing great. You can say a lot of things, but Kmart is not often looked at as an internet shopping pioneer. But I was reminded of something, and we ran this tape back in 2013 when they started shopping online through Kmart. Now, Kmart's gone now, but this was a pretty cool campaign back then. Remember, they said if you want to buy your pants, you can have them shipped to you. Kmart was ahead of the they're ahead of the pack.
Ship my pants? Right here? Ship my pants? You're kidding.
You can ship your pants right here.
You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed. If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
So the beauty is though Kmart is not really a thing anymore. You can still do Walmart, you can still do Target, and you can ship your pants right through our website. And I just want to congratulate Kmart to
get a little creative airline. When I have to watch the Liberty Emu,
yes,
that has absolutely zero creative input, none. They put no effort at all. I mean, none. They don't. Even the Flow, the progressive commercials, put a little more effort than the Lemu. Let's put a porn star looking guy next to a giant bird, hardy har har, with no effort. Mm-hmm. I can save you, but the saturation is so total. I just wish they'd make more of an effort. These giant insurance companies that spend so much money, it doesn't matter. You could say, poop in your hand, and that would be the slogan that everybody would know. It's all frequency. I still wish with the frequency that they would do a little better job.
Yeah, help
but it
us
doesn't
out.
need to be done. In their mind, all you have to do is put something that grabs attention.
Right.
That's the only criteria they have. It has to grab attention, and then saturate. I wish they'd work harder. I really
Speaking
do.
of commercials, Mike, here's a commercial with a great story behind it from 1980. Brian Johnson, the current lead singer of AC/DC, the day he auditioned for the band to replace Bon Scott, he had a second gig booked that day. The day he auditioned, he also recorded a commercial for Hoover Vacuums in 1980. He ended up getting the gig, but he also got $700 for the Hoover spot. This is the actual Hoover Vacuum commercial sung by Brian Johnson the day before he was hired for AC/DC.
The new high-powered compact from Hoover, it's a beautiful mover. The new compact does more than beat. It also cleans, it also sweeps, and brushes right to the edge.
So inappropriate for
Right
that
to
product.
the edge. Changing a bag as easy as ABC.
I almost hear my father.
The new high-powered compact from Hoover.
Where
It's
the
a
hell?
beautiful
I'm going to buy a
mover.
goddamn vacuum cleaner with that guy singing.
It's a beautiful mover.
Right. Yeah.
I just thought that was a cool story.
It's a great voice, though.
Jimmy Kimmel last night did a salute to teachers, and it started out so sincere.
Dear teachers, thank you.
For all you do.
Having our kids at home has taught us that our children
are terrible,
stubborn,
selfish,
impossible monsters
who suck our life force,
begging for snacks like zoo animals. How are you not all alcoholics?
You deserve more money. Thank you for teaching our terrible toddlers and teenagers
For 7 magical hours every day.
Dad, where are you?
Shut up, Harper!
This message is brought to you by Trojan brand ultra thick condoms. Next time, double up.
Exactly.
I love that.
Now, this next tape, this was trending yesterday, and if this doesn't make you smile, I don't know what will. It's a guy and his son. Son looks to be like maybe 7 or 8. They're on an empty baseball field because of COVID-19. He's pitching to his son, and the son just hauls off and nails a home run. I mean, it is way out of there. Listen to how excited his dad is.
I can relate to that.
Let's go! Let's go! Yeah! Yeah! Let's go! What? Oh! You did it! You did it! Yeah! You did it!
It's so great. It's just,
That's
it's fun
love
because
right there,
you
boy.
spend a lot of time with your kids during this isolation stuff, and when they pull
I'll tell you,
something great.
Michael William O'Mara, he's got, he has a swing. And he, by the way, he can hit already 6 years old. He can hit from both sides of the plate.
Really?
I mean, this kid, you don't realize that you miss the activities. He had gotten back into Little League, and he doesn't dig it 100,000%, but he wanted to play again. And then right about that time, COVID hit. He has no idea at his young age that he's got a great swing, a natural swing. He doesn't
That's
know.
amazing.
And it's
That's
driving
great.
me nuts. You want to go to the ballpark? No, I'll play Minecraft. That's what I'm dealing with right now. And it's just
Can he play Minecraft? Can he play Minecraft left-handed though?
No, but he built a Viking ship yesterday.
Oh,
Way to
that's
go.
good. That's good
Yeah,
too.
in creative mode. Thank you. All right.
There's so many, of the talk shows that are originating from home, and they don't do it for me. But last night, Conan talked to Hank Azaria, and Hank Azaria is always entertaining to me. Question for you guys: what
Great
do you
actor.
think is Hank Azaria's favorite voice to do on The Simpsons? Because he does a million of them.
Well, he's certainly not going to say a boo because
No, he doesn't
got
do that
in
anymore.
Big controversial trouble for that. I think Mo, the bartender.
Actually, he said Mo is the one that's hardest on his throat, so he doesn't like to do
that
Mo.
wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, that's why I probably like it. That's why people like me doing Lucille Ball that I could only do until I was like 45, and then I was like,
His favorite voice to do is Professor Frink.
The one I enjoy the most, Conan, my friend, is Professor Frank. To me, it's the vocal equivalent of a peanut. I cannot stop once I start. If I get going, I simply cannot stop. It annoys the gadoodles out of my wife.
You can't be depressed making that. I think that's what it is. It's like a natural mood elevator. If you're down and you start talking this way, it's very difficult to remain depressed. Try it at home.
And so we close with the fact that
he's such a mega talent. That
isn't
man,
he though?
Really.
He's so great.
Absolutely. You know, you go back to a movie called The Birdcage, and Hank Azaria plays the houseboy, Spartacus.
Yes.
Agador Spartacus.
Agador Spartacus. Yeah.
Just fantastic. You know, I cannot wear shoes. They make me fall down.
And
fantastic.
We close with the fact that always remember and never forget that Professor Frink is just the Nutty Professor. He's doing Jerry Lewis.
Well, without question, you're absolutely, yes, we'll never have to correct our talk. We won't ever speak. That is, we'll never have to talk again. We just never will discuss talking. We shouldn't really converse about speaking.
But the thing is, Hank Azaria does Jerry Lewis better than Jerry Lewis does Jerry Lewis.
No,
so
I think Hank
Azaria
Azaria does. I think Hank Azaria is funnier.
I don't think there's a
than
connection to Jerry, actually.
No, he doesn't.
I think you might have ruined that clip by playing Jerry.
No, because Jerry's got more of the New York accent on it. It doesn't work with the professor.
That's why
because Jerry was just not good.
That's why they hired Jerry to play Professor Fink's father in the episode. Obviously, no connection. So that's your
Jerry
magic
sucks,
audio
Rob.
vault. That's yes, he does.
Jerry sucks. There
He
you go.
does, but at least he never painted clowns. Have a good Wednesday, everybody.
That's it. We got to get out of here. I'm gonna take my computer and I'm gonna. You know, we were watching. What the hell were we watching? Some Jerry Lewis with his slicked back grease hair and his cigarette in his mouth, trying to be funny. And I just looked at him and went, Jerry. I'll
the
never
best.
get it.
The best.
Yeah, the best. Buddy Rich was the best, pal.
Buddy Rich
My
loves
guy
Jerry
was the
Lewis.
best.
Did you
No,
know
he
that?
didn't.
I have
Did he?
this tape of him talking about Jerry Lewis. He says all other comedians are clams.
There you go. All right. Work on those typos, will you, please? Thank
Yes.
you. Really, just edit your work. That's all I ask from the bottom of my heart. All right?
You got it.
Smart guy. All right. Jerry Lewis lover.
We're all friends.
Another half hour right now. Jerry Elvis, Jerry Elvis, Jerry Elvis, Paul McCartney, Jerry Elvis, Jerry Elvis, Paul McCartney, Jerry Elvis, Jerry Elvis, Jerry Elvis, Jerry Elvis, Paul McCartney. We gotta
Sounds
get
like
out
a
of here.
great show plan.
Yeah, right. Maybe you could host your own. Anyway, for Rob Spiewak and Oscar Santana, Mike O'Mara saying so long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Before you go, please make a mental note. Today's show was made possible by the TMOS bonus packages. You can secure yours right now by going to MikeO'MaraShow.com and clicking on the red bonus banner. Buy it or give it. Either way, you're helping out TMOS, and that's a good thing. Thank you, and go in peace.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Just trying to have a little fun, folks, that's all.
Should I tell people that I am a wounded sex?
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.